Okay, we're recording now. Hi, everybody. What's up? Saigan here. It's another Monster Hunter World video. Remember that one video that I did like a little while back where I called out PC Gamer for having a bunch of just nonsense in their article? And my main complaint was about how they portrayed the multiplayer in Monster Hunter World as going to be this, colossal mess. And I was like, they're not going to fuck up the multiplayer in Monster Hunter. The multiplayer in Monster Hunter has never been bad. And even on the Wii, they had a really good system for it. Don't even worry about that. That's not going to be what they mess up. If they screw anything up, it won't be that. Way to make me look like an asshole, Capcom. Congratulations, you managed to fuck up the multiplayer in Monster Hunter. I'm going to stop you all right there. I like the game. It's probably the best entry to the series. If I was going to get somebody started on Monster Hunter, I would give them Monster Hunter World. I would also feel the need to include a written tutorial on how the fucking multiplayer works because it's clunky as shit. Squads, when they work fine, I guess. I like the idea. You know what? In fact, I'm going to go so far as to say I like all of the ideas for multiplayer. The implementation is garbage, though. I'm constantly having connection errors with it. The sessions are just a hot mess. And then you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna bash Monster Hunter World for a while. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's do this. Things that are wrong with Monster Hunter World. Multiplayer complaints. I don't think anybody is gonna come out and say you're wrong about the multiplayer. The multiplayer is fantastic. I haven't had any problem. Well, no, there's undoubtedly you're typing right now and you're saying you're wrong about the multiplayer. It must be your settings or something because I don't have any problems. Lots of people fucking do. And lots of people is too many. It's like the Master Chief Collection multiplayer. It worked for some people. That didn't mean there weren't problems and aren't still problems with Master Chief Collection. Other big complaints about the game. There's two major issues that I have with the game outside of the multiplayer mess that, in fairness, will probably get patched and work better down the road. Capcom's become very adept at fixing their games that don't work right when they come out. Street Fighter V. The camera. Holy shit, the camera. It's mostly okay. Having a dedicated analog stick to turning the camera around, I mean, the series has needed that for a while. I come from the days of the claw, where I don't, some of you people might be fairly new to Monster Hunter, but back in the heyday, the PSP was where Freedom Unite lived, and Monster Hunter 3, which was a major import for a lot of Monster Hunter fans. I played a bit of 3, but I was still pretty addicted to Freedom Unite, and I just wanted to keep playing Freedom Unite. So, if you're familiar with the PSP, you've got your standard Sony controller layout, you've got your D-pad, you've got triangle, square, X, circle, you have L and R, and then you had like this weird movement analog nub. It was a nubbin on there, and it worked fairly well, but the problem was that there was no nubbin on the opposite side to control the camera. So how did you control the camera, you might ask? Well, you did it with the D-pad, which was directly located above the movement nubbin. So if you wanted to move and turn the camera at the same time, say to track the position of a monster as you are moving out of the way of, I don't know, one of the millions of things in the game that's trying to kill you, you couldn't do it with one finger. You had two choices, really. Well, three. You could run and lose track of what you were trying to watch and then possibly get hit by an attack that you don't see coming because you're playing this hunter who has no neck control and can't look over his shoulder, or you could engage in what became the painfully well-known practice as the claw, where you would hold the controller or hold the PSP and play normally, but you'd scrunch up your left hand so that the knuckles on your index finger laid across the D-pad, and you would control the D-pad that way while still moving with the nubbin. It was incredibly, incredibly painful. I am almost 6'6". I'm 198 centimeters tall for those across the pond. Most game controllers are too small for my hands, and I just suffer with it anyways. And suffering through it on the PSP should tell you what a quality game that Freedom Unite was. I'm one of those freaks who thinks that the original Xbox, like, Duke anchor-sized controller was perfect the way it was. I still have some for the original Xbox. It's just the most comfortable thing to me. So, yeah, the claw. We've improved a lot since then. We've come a long way. The problem with the camera system in Monster Hunter World is that whenever your scout flies get distracted by anything, the camera will just swing wherever they want you to focus. And oftentimes there's nothing there. It's like, oh, well, there's a hill over there. Thanks, guys. As true story, a Rathian grabs me and throws me off a cliff, and I don't get my carves off of Tobi Kadachi. Something that I would have seen coming had the camera remained where it was, aka watching the Rathian coming towards me. But no, it swung. I have been told by a couple of people online that you can turn off that weird camera thing that it does. I have also heard multiple ways of doing it, none of which have worked for me. Dynamic camera settings, all of it. I've turned off all of it, and I cannot figure out what I'm doing wrong, and it should be way the hell more obvious than what it's giving me. Again, stop your hate typing. I do like the game. Again, I think it is the best Monster Hunter in the series to start off a new player with. Okay? Save your hate for the end, because I ain't done yet. Story. And this ties into a lot of the problems with multiplayer. You've probably heard by now that if you're going to go on a story quest that has a cutscene in it, your friends can't join you right away. They are locked out of it until you have cleared that cutscene. Now, it doesn't necessarily, like, I don't know how they know when they can join, aside from just sitting and staring at the quest board. Also, it means that it won't clear the... Say you want to play through with some friends. Say you and a couple of friends are like, hey guys, let's get Monster Hunter World. I hear Monster Hunter's great. We can jump in. We can play multiplayer. Monster Hunter is well known for its fantastic multiplayer. You can't play through the story together. You could in 4. Why would we take a step back from that? The multiplayer was better in Try, which was on the Wii. Is that a system that's well known for its multiplayer? No! Beyond the multiplayer just complete miss with the story mode functionality, the story mode itself I've found to be rather obtrusive. Now this is probably the least properly critical complaints that I have. This is more an opinion than the other ones, which are just, they're facts. These are problems with the game. This is more of an opinion. Now, I have, as many of you who follow the channel know, I recently got a new job. That's great. because it means that I'm not going to lose my house or anything cool. So I've been dealing with that. I've been in training. I leave the house at 7 in the morning. I get back close to 6. I cook dinner. And then, you know, depending on how I'm feeling, I might just lay down. It's been very busy lately. We're working on a schedule. I think right now the current idea for a stream schedule is going to be Monday and Wednesday nights. And then we're going to go back to working on Crystal Chronicles on Sundays. That one's not going to go up until it's complete. But I haven't had a lot of time to really play Monster Hunter World. So this morning when I was like, I'm going to get some time in. I'm going to play. I'm going to keep working on getting my legs back, because when I did play online with some friends, it was just like, it was embarrassing how poorly I was performing. Some of that was the goddamn camera swinging away from Anjanath, who's about to breathe fire at me. I'm like, well, now I don't know where it is. Ah, I'm fired and I'm in a cart. A lot of bad luck. And a lot of it is definitely me, but a lot of it is also the camera. I'm playing this morning. It's the hunt with Zora Magdrados, Magduros, Maggie, Magma, Zora Maggie. Magizo. Chan. And it's a great take on the Elder Dragon fights, and it's early in the game too, which is kind of hype because it lets new hunters see, like, they get a peek at what some of the craziness that happens in Monster Hunter is. Like in Freedom Unite, hell, in the original Monster Hunter, I never got far enough to see Lao Shan Lung because I never reconciled my opinion about the controls. But in Freedom Unite, oh man, when I got to Lao Shan Lung, that was crazy. He's your first, like, proper Elder Dragon, and he's massive, and it's this multi-phase fight, and you're climbing on him, and you're setting up bombs. It was really cool, and we've come a long way since then. There was Jen Moran in Tri and 3 Ultimate, and we got Ciadius, which was a cool fight. Don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly at all. He's the big underwater guy that's really fun to fight with a lens because you're a torpedo. 4 Ultimate had some great Elder Dragon fights. That giant snake thing that you fight on the mountain, and he's just freaking huge. So you get to Zora. I'm hype because already I'm fighting this, and it's set up really, really well because he's coming through this canyon, and you know, you've got like ballista and cannons, and there's these other hunters running around loading cannons and firing ballista, and you've got your Palico with you, and he's helping load cannonballs, which was great. You can load 5 cannonballs into a cannon at the same time. I don't know where that technology came from, but I really appreciate it. I was enjoying it. I was having a blast. You move into the second phase of the fight where you fly a pterodactyl onto the back of this thing and you start breaking its parts off. It's great. That's what Monster Hunter is all about. And then they dial it up to 11, and this giant black wyvern comes in to try and wreck your face, but I've gotten my legs back, and I'm in the zone, and I'm rolling through all of his claws, and I'm beating him in the face with my hunting horn, and then it robs me of all the fun that I'm having with this cutscene where suddenly I'm incompetent, and this Mary Sue character with his fucking giant katana runs in and is like, I'm a better hunter than you, and I'm super badass, and look at how much better I'm handling this guy than you. I don't play Monster Hunter to watch somebody else fight my monsters. I was doing fine. Why would you cockblock a player on that? Maybe if, like, they were going to fail the hunt, like if they're going to cart, then go to a backup cutscene. Maybe fighting a new black wyvern on the back of an Elder Dragon is going to be too hard for newcomers to the series. That's fine. That's totally acceptable. But don't rob me of my experience of playing the actual game. That was how I started my day. that was how I started my day. I didn't get to play games at all yesterday. I woke up this morning. I got ready real quick. I was like, I have half an hour. I'm going to knock out the next story hunt. Because I've been doing a lot of expeditions, which are probably my favorite part of the game, is just dicking around on expeditions. And back to the multiplayer, why the fuck can't I just post an expedition on the bounty board and my friends and I can just go on an expedition? Why do we have to do another quest first before we can transition into an expedition? Makes zero sense. Why would you design it that way? That's why there were gathering quests before. Gathering quests were like very focused expeditions. They had a requirement. You had to gather so many of a thing within a certain amount of time, but it did allow you to focus down on the things that you needed. Why is the multiplayer so bad? It's like, did they... It's my most hated video. And I kind of understand why it was going to be my most hated video, because I've got a lot of opinions in there. There was a lot of very bizarre ideas about my idea of PC gaming. Just because I have concerns about their desires for the PC version of the game doesn't mean that I don't want it to succeed. My concerns about changing up the PC version of the game too much is because I have this dream that maybe, just maybe, since Sony has been talking with Microsoft about it, we get cross-console and we get cross-platform, and that would be so damn good. I'm not against PC gaming. I just don't want it to differ too much. Somebody pointed out my problem with exclusives, and that Horizon Zero Dawn content is in fact an exclusive. And yeah, you're totally right. I had just forgotten that Horizon Zero Dawn is a Sony exclusive. I forgot. And yes, it's wrong and it's unfair and it shouldn't happen. It made sense when the game itself was a system exclusive, like in the case of 4 Ultimate, where it was this Nintendo exclusive game. So you got like Legend of Zelda stuff and Mario stuff. But there was no divide in the community on that. Nobody was getting shafted on content if they got it on a different system, because it was really only available on one system. So I was fine with it then. The Horizon Zero Dawn stuff? Yeah, you're right. I'm not keen on that. Because... again, it's exclusive, and I feel that it's pandering to the console manufacturers is what it feels like, is doing that exclusive content. And Destiny had that same issue. A lot of games have had that same issue, and it's never sat well with me. And you guys are right about the Horizon Zero Dawn thing. And now that I have been made re-aware that Horizon Zero Dawn is a system exclusive, yeah, I'm not cool with that either. So that's another problem that I have with the game. The minimal problem compared to the stuff that just ruins it. What was the other one? The other really weird one. People assumed that I don't do any gaming on PC. I don't know where to go with that. I will go to wherever the games I want to play are. Path of Exile. Love Path of Exile. World of Warcraft. I like Warcraft. I love WoW. Dusk. Dusk is hype. Especially if you're into like the Quake and Unreal era of first-person shooters back before they turned into different colors of gray, military, realism shooters. Sorry, the most realistic military shooter I've ever played was the first Ghost Recon, because it accurately portrayed how I would perform on a battlefield. I stood in the field straight up while all my squad mates were like in this firefight. They're like, ah, they're over here, they're over here. There's this firefight going on. I'm literally standing going, where? I would get shot in real life. And, you know, I appreciate that level of realism coming from a video game. Call of Duty's not realistic because the average gamer can play it proficiently. Not so for the original Ghost Recon. So, yeah, those are my problems with the games. Those are my problems with your bizarre comments and hatred. Yeah, nothing against PC. The reason that I don't want the different versions of the game to differ too much from each other is because I want it to be Monster Hunter World. Not Monster Hunter World exclusives for PS4, exclusives for Xbox, exclusives for PC. I want it to be Monster Hunter World, where the entire world can get together and play what's one of the greatest co-op multiplayer series ever made. And for all of the complaints that I have about this, those are complaints that newer players are not going to have. I don't see them having them. Even players who started more recently. Perionen doesn't really have any complaints about the game. And she's been playing since 4 Ultimate. She played a lot of 4 Ultimate with me. And she doesn't have a lot of the same issues that I have. These issues that I have, these complaints that I have with the game, are inflated nitpicks. If you have been playing for a really, really, really long time, you are probably going to notice some of these. They might not bother you near as much as they bother me, but you'll have probably noticed them, and you'll have probably gotten annoyed at things like the camera just fucking moving sometimes because your scout flies are like, squirrel! I mean, it's good. I expect to play more of it. I just, I wanted to address the problems that I have with the game. Problems that I feel could have been polished out. The multiplayer is a massive, massive step back, and it's amusing to me that, like, that was the thing that I defended the hardest. No, they're not going to mess up multiplayer. The multiplayer is going to be better than ever. Have you heard about what they're doing with the multiplayer? And it comes out and it's like, which, by the way, it is now the 6th. Yeah, it's the 6th. So the game's been out for a week, more than a week. It's been out for a bit. Yeah, and I've only gotten to Zora. And it still hasn't been patched to fix the multiplayer. Perry and I tried playing together the other night, and I couldn't create a session for half an hour. I was later able to create a session randomly. I don't know what the problem was. It just kept throwing PSN errors at me. That might be PSN, but I have heard through the grapevine that a lot of Xbox One players are still having issues, so I'm willing to gamble that it's actually a Capcom issue and we're just getting the appropriate errors from whichever service is connecting to that. Okay. If you disagree with me, feel free to let me know. Let the hate flow through you. I do read every comment, even those written by the mouth breathers who have no idea what they're talking about. I'm not talking to you. You're great. That other guy. Take care, everybody. This is Saigan, and I will see you all next time. I'm going to try and find a day that we can schedule some group hunts again, now that I've got my horn legs back and I can give you all the doot-doots. All right, peace out.